Well, we're in a great setting here today. We're with the Bull River Shooters as they get set for a very special Canadian National silhouette shooting event next month. Jeremy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. President of the club here, Jeramey Marsh. You've been with them for a while.
Yes, that's right. I've been a member of the club since 1988.
For people that don't know what silhouette shooting is, can you describe what these competitors will be doing when they come here?
Well, what we have on the Canadian Nationals, which starts July 30th, runs till August 5th. We have a lot of shooters that come. There's different classes of experience levels, so everybody's competing against somebody based on their own level and experience and how many years they've been doing the sport. And what you see behind us is the animals that they're going to be shooting at.
What's the skill level? In other words, what different skill levels will we see? Will you see youth up to adults?
Yes, correct. This sport is great because it attracts all different ages. We've got the junior competitions, we got the ladies, we got the seniors, so it attracts a whole spectrum of people.
What's the trick to somebody when they grab a gun and they start competing in this? What's the hardest part, or what was it for you to get good at it?
Good question. What started with me is we come from a shooting background of hunting, so we shot with our arms out. As soon as we got into this sport, we learned very quickly you got to take the muscle out of the equation when you're holding your rifle. So a lot of the guys that were very experienced in the sport, they taught us how to hold our arm in closer to the body and use bone on bone to try to take your muscles out of the equation, which if you're holding it and using a lot of muscles, you start to shake because this is an offhand competition.
Yeah, and you had said before we got on microphone that you shouldn't have a gun that has a lot of recoil.
No, in the high power event, that's a key is not having a gun that's going to cause a lot of recoil to make you anticipate a recoil occurrence, which causes people to flinch if they have something that's hitting them really hard in the shoulder.
The history of this goes really down to Mexico and back a few years. Can we talk about the history of silhouette shooting?
Sure, the history, it started way back in like the late 1800s. Some Mexicans sitting around a campfire having some shots of tequila, bragging about who was the best shot out of the group. And their thing was, let's put some animals out at distances and see who can make the shots. And that's kind of where it started, and it kind of took a life of its own from there. Over the years, as it's evolved, we've kind of, for obvious reasons, started shooting at metal targets, not real animals, and it's just grown from there.
You will have some Mexican competitors coming too.
Correct. I've received calls from Mexico. There's a team of Mexican shooters that are already making travel plans to come up here and shoot with us.
It's quite interesting. We wonder, like, why would you get a national event coming into Cranbrook, a relatively small place? But the truth is, you're saying that this setting is a big reason why you're having the competition here.
Our reputation as a club travels far and wide. We're known for having the best silhouette matches around, and this club is, and what you're looking at for a setting, is the best in Canada.
What's the commitment when you're taking this on? I suppose you applied for it, or they go to other areas, and you're saying the setting is good, but what is your responsibility? Do you have to entertain? Do you got to put people up? What's going to happen during the time everybody's here next month?
Well, first thing is you got to make sure you got a lot of club support to put on the best event that you can, because a lot of people are traveling long distances, but having a roof over everybody while they're competing. If it rains, so their rifles aren't getting wet. And then having the amount of banks of animals like you see behind us. We have 5 banks of animals, which allows us to run a big group of shooters through at a time. So in the time restraint that we have, like we're probably expecting close to 100 shooters. We'll be able to get that match in during the day.
When a competitor walks up to the table, takes its shots, how many shots do they take each time they go up to compete?
Each station is 10 shots, and a match consists of 40 rounds. So at the 4 different ranges that you see behind us, that's a match, 40-shot match.
So how many days will they be here? Is it just shot over a weekend or a full week then?
The Nationals starts on a Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is going to be our small bore event, which is the 22 range, which you see right behind us, the infield. And then Wednesday will be a break. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be the high power rifle event.
Is it hard to stay focused when you're trying to take 40 shots? How can you readjust if you're not hitting so well?
The mental concentration is a huge aspect in this sport because it is offhand. A lot of people, they get to a certain level where they kind of hit a wall and they can't figure out why they're not going past that part. It's the mental training that allows people to get up to the top levels of this sport.
Is there a mentor from this area or somebody in the sport that a lot of athletes in silhouette shooting look to?
Yeah, there are a lot of people that come out here and they ask the questions, and that's the great thing about our club is we do have a lot of members that have been shooting this sport for years. We've shot all over the States, around Canada, and we've been around shooters that have been able to excel at this sport, and we get to learn the tricks that got them to those spots.
When you get going here in July, is the public welcome to come out here?
We encourage everybody, and that's a great thing is like we want people to come out and watch this sport take place, ask questions. We got great members. Even if somebody came out and they wanted to try it, we have members that'll let people borrow their rifles to try a shot.
From Cranbrook on the way here, coming toward Fort Steele, we're looking at which road then and turning left?
We are turning towards Fort Steele and taking the first left at the gravel pit.
Thank you so much for showing us the sport and around the facility. It's lovely here today.
Well, we're glad to have you, and the more people that learn about this sport, the better.
Jeramey Marsh is the president of the Bull River Shooters, and we're, of course, right on site here.